Hello everyone! Good evening and dangal greetings para sa mga dangal ng bayan. I am Darren Rem Olaes, leading this presentation of Group A in World Religion and Belief System. Our task is given by Mr. Jerome Dicolen, Comparative of Hinduism, Theravada Buddhism, and Mahayana Buddhism. Introducing you, my fellow members, Paksyal Lara Isabel, Poyawan Cristina Isabel, Cristo Jr., Pusta Mariel Tien, Ramilo Claire, and also Takasa Mark Lawrence. Okay, it's refresh time. Let's have a quick review. We prepare some 3 questions about Hinduism, Theravada Buddhism, and Mahayana Buddhism. I will give you a 5-second timer for you to answer this question. After that, you can put your answer in our comment section. So, let's get started. For items number 1, what is the symbol of Hinduism? Okay, for question number 2, what is the meaning of Theravada in Pali? And lastly, items number 3. According to Buddhist tradition, the belief system was founded by a former Hindu prince, Black. Okay, thank you for answering this refreshed question. And now, we proceed to our discussion about comparative of these 3 religions. Before that, mag-recall muna tayo. Ano nga ba ang Hinduism, Theravada Buddhism, and Mahayana Buddhism? Unahin na natin ang Hinduism. Hinduism is a religion that worships a variety of gods and goddesses. So itong religion na to ay isa siyang polytheistic religion na kung saan hindi lang siya one god, kung hindi many gods. The earth is ruled by 3 gods. Sabi ng mga taga-Hinduism, ito ay ang Brahma, siya daw ang creator. Si Vishnu, siya naman daw ang protector, at si Shiva, siya naman yung destroyer. Hinduism is the world's oldest religion and the 3rd most populous. Grabe no? 3rd most populous ang Hinduism. Pero iilan lang ang may alam sa religion na to, diba? India is home to 94% of the world's Hindus. And Hinduism is also known as the religion of Muslim. And with that, Hinduism is also known as Sanatana Dharma. Okay, sunod naman natin ay ang Theravada Buddhism. The Theravada Buddhism is the older of 2 major Buddhism traditions. Madalas na tinutukoy bilang tradisyon ng mga matatanda. Maraming Theravada Buddhist ang eksaktong sumusunod sa mga turo ng mga Buddha at marami sa kanila ay ang mga monghe o madre. Mahayana is one of the 3 main existing branches of Buddhism. The other Buddhism was Theravada and Vajrayana. Tapos ito ang mga Buddhism na sometimes ito yung nag-describe siya as Tibetan Buddhism. Okay, now let's go on here in the origin of Hinduism, Theravada Buddhism, and Mahayana Buddhism. Dito, matutunghayan natin ang mga naniniwala kung saan o kailan sila naihayag. Let's call on Miss Mariel Fian Pusta. The floor is yours.
Dangal greetings, I am Mariel Fian Pusta and I will be discuss the origin of 3 religions which is Hinduism, Theravada, and Mahayana. So let's start. Origin of Hinduism. Hinduism can be traced back to the Indus River Valley on the Indian subcontinent and the people who live there. Hinduism is one of the oldest religions, with evidence of its history stretching back for 1,000 years. By 1500 BCE, Hinduism had already acquired a high level of philosophical and religious development that has lasted to the present day. Hinduism is world's oldest religion. Dating back 4,000 years, ang mga unang pinagmulan nito ay malabo na walang iisang tagapagtatag. Sa katunayan, maraming mga Hindu ang naniniwala na ang relihiyon ay walang hanggan gaya ng panahon mismo. Ang Hinduismo ay nag-uutos ng katapatan na umiiwas sa pananakit sa mga buhay na pasensya, pagpipigil sa sarili, kabutihan at pakikiramay sa iba pa. Origin of Theravada. Theravada Buddhism is the oldest of two major Buddhism schools whose ideologies are based on the sutras or teachings of Siddhartha Gautama, also known as the Buddha. Theravada means way of the elders in Pali, the original language of these teachings. Theravadins solely follow what they believe to the original sutras. Theravada started in India approximately 500 BC and is now practiced in a variety of nations, especially in South Asia. Ang Theravada Buddhism ay ang mas matanda sa dalawang pangunahing tradisyon ng Buddhismo, na parehong nakasentro sa pagkamit ng nirvana, isang perpektong estado ng kaliwanagan. Ang mga Theravadin ay sumusunod sa orihinal na mga sutra o mga turo ng Buddha. Gayunpaman, ang mga monghe at ang mga laiko ay may iba't ibang tungkulin. Para sa mga Theravadin, ang landas na tungo sa kaliwanagan ay magagamit lamang ng mga monghe na nag-aaral upang maging mga arhat o perpektong nilalang. Gayunpaman, ang mga laiko ay maaaring lumahok sa mga ritual at espiritual na kasanayan na sumusuporta sa mga monghe at maaaring mapabuti ang kanilang susunod na buhay. Origins of Mahayana. The origins of Mahayana Buddhism are unknown. The date and location of the tradition's emergence are uncertain, and the movement most likely evolved over time and in numerous locations. The Mahayana Sutras, which were originally compiled 4 centuries after the Buddha's death, are the earliest sources for the tradition. These writings, probably certainly produced by monks, contain the movement's unique ideas in the guise of lectures, purported to have been delivered by the Buddha. Shakyamuni is also known as a Siddhartha Gautama. As far as we know, Mahayana Buddhism emerged in the 1st century BCE. This religious movement then spread quickly in a variety of locations in and around what is now India, the birthplace of Buddhism. Ang Buddhismo mismo ay nagsimula noong ika-5 siglo BCE. Naniniwala na tayo ngayon na ang Buddha na lumikha ng pananampalataya ay namatay noong mga taong 400 BCE. Lumawak ang Buddhismo sa kabila ng India habang ito ay lumago.
Wow, that's a wholesome explanation. But anyway, next slide please. This contains a division of religion, which is denominationalism is the division of one religion into separate groups, such schools of thought or denominations. Miss Christina Isabel Poyawan, it's your time to shine.
Greetings everyone, my name is Christine Isabel C. Puyaban and I'm here to discuss about the division of 3 religions. First is the Hinduism. Shaivites are Hindus are who prefer to worship Shiva. Shaivites practices Raja Yoga and worship while focusing on the importance of Shiva. This kind of Hinduism is known as Shaivism. Non-dualistic Advaita sub-traditions of Shaivism are strong. Its primary concept has been that every being's Atman, self is equals to Shiva, with its numerous practices and pursuits aimed at comprehending and becoming one with the Shiva within. Buddhism, commonly known as Vishnuism, is a significant style of modern Hinduism distinguished by devotion to the god Vishnu and his incarnations avatars. A Vaishnava is a follower of Vishnu, absolutely reality Brahman, as manifested in Vishnu, who is incarnated in Rama, Krishna, and other avatars. For Vaishnavas, the 10 principal avatars of Vishnu are known as the Dashavatara Vishnu. Vishnu worshippers of diverse faiths praise to him in varied ways. Some people believe that devotional devotion, bhakti to Vishnu, leads to freedom, moksha. from the cycle of birth and death, samsara. Others value health and prosperity in this life, good crops, commercial success, or healthy children. After death, most Vaishnavas want to spend eternally in Vishnu's presence. Many Hindus refer Shakti as the Heavenly Mother who demands complete devotion. Shaktism is an essential component of Hindu Tantra, a set of practices incorporating goddess worship and intended to empower and release both mind and body. Hindus consider all female goddess to be her many incarnations and may refer to her simply as Devi, goddess. In husband-elephant form, she is known as Uma, Parvati, and Ambika. The Smarta traditions, commonly known as Smartisms, is a Hinduism movement that developed and flourished with the Puranas literary genre. It is the result of a synthesis of four philosophical strands: Mimamsa, Advaita, Yoga, and Theism. According to Smartism, the ultimate reality, Brahman, transcends all types of human divinity. The Smartas practice orthodox in Hindu philosophy, which means they believe the Vedas and ontological notion of Atman and Brahman. Ang Hinduismo ay naniniwala sa mga doktrina ng samsara. Ang tuloy-tuloy na ikot ng kanilang buhay ay naniniwala sila sa kamatayan at muling pagkakatamang tao. At karma, ang universal na batas ng sanhi at isa sa mga pangunahing saloobin ng kanilang paniniwala sa Hinduismo. Ang Hinduismo ay ang Atman o ang paniniwala sa kaluluwa. Pinahahalagahan nito ng kanilang filosofiya na ang mga nabubuhay ng nilalang ay mayroong sariling kaluluwa at lahat sila ay bahagi ng kataas-taasang kaluluwa ng kanilang pinaniniwalaan. Theravada, like all other Buddhist schools, claim the most faithful to the Buddha's original doctrines and practices. Theravadins believe the Pali Canon of ancient Indian Buddhism as authoritative and trace their sectarian ancestry back to the elder Sanskrit Staviras, Palitaras, and who followed in the traditions of the first Buddhist Sangha or community. Theravada Buddhism's goal is the Arhat Pali, Arhat or perfect saint, who achieves enlightenment by his own efforts. Ang ikalawang religion na kanilang pinapanigan ay ang Theravada. Theravada naman ay naniniwala kapag nakamit na nila ang kaliwanagan ng kanilang kasalukuyan sa buhay, ay maaabot na nila ang nirvana. Kapag naabot na nila ang nirvana, ay silang tuluyan na makakawala sa samsara o sa pag-iikot ng waling pagsilang ng kanilang sinasabing cycle of rebirth. The last one is the Mahayana. The Mahayana in the tradition is to emphasize the knowledge or wisdom to the mystery of which continuous enlightenment. The concept of the Bodhisattva or aspirant to Buddhahood is essential to Mahayana theology. In contrast to non-Mahayana Buddhism, which limits the title of Bodhisattva to the Buddha before his awakening Bodhi, or Enlightenment Mahayana teaches that anybody can strive for awakening Bodhisattva and therefore become Bodhisattva. Awakening, according to Mahayana Buddhism, consists in comprehending the true nature of real reality. Ang ikatlong relihiyon na kanilang pinapaligan ay Mahayana. Sa kabila ng panig naman, ang Mahayana ay naniniwala na kapag nakamit na nila ito, ay kung ito ay hindi tumigil at hindi lumayo sa samsara, nakakatulong siya na ito ay mas marami ng taong mga natutulungan at tagagawa upang makatulong pa at marami pang matulungan ibang tao. Ang pagtulong sa kanila sa ibang tao ay ang tamang kanilang katangian na tamang ginagawa.
Well, thanks for the information, Miss Poyawan. The next one is symbol. Dito sa symbol, malalaman natin ang mga simbolo ng tatlong religions. Ano nga ba ang mga simbolo ng Hinduism, Theravada Buddhism, and Mahayana Buddhism na magre-represent sa kanila? Ano yung meaning ng mga simbolo na yun sa religion nila? Malalaman natin yan. It's your time to make us believable. Miss Lara Isabel Pakshal.
Good evening, everyone. I am Lara Isabel Pakshal, and I am here to discuss about the different symbols of each religions. It is a graphic symbol as well as a spiritual sound or mantra that can be heard and uttered. Now, let's tackle about what the different letters symbolizes. The letter A, the sound depicts the beginning of the universe and everything within it. It is considered to represent the conscious or waking state. In Hindu belief, the sound is associated with Brahma, the creator. The sound begins in the belly and travels to the upper chest. As for the letter U, or the sound represents the steadiness that propels you forward as well as the energy that protects and sustains you from the world. It is related with the Hindu god Vishnu, who is also known as the preserver. Lastly, letter M. This is related with Shiva and denotes the sound of closing in and the beginning of the end. Shiva is generally referred to as the destroyer, but he is also the force of culmination, completion, and finalization. The lotus flower is the most well-recognized symbol of beauty, prosperity, and fertility. It is commonly used as a symbol of life and ever-renewing youth, and denotes immorality, purity, and divinity. The lotus flower is used to describe feminine attractiveness, particularly the eyes of a woman. According to the Bhagavad Gita, a human should be like the lotus. They should work without attachment, offering their deeds to God, sinless, like a water on a lotus leaf, like a lovely flower standing high above the muck and the water. Lotus Sutra, an early Mahayana Buddhist scripture revered as the epitome of truth by the Japanese Tendai and Nichiren sect. Many others see the Lotus Sutra as a religious classic of tremendous beauty and force, as well as one of the most important and popular writings in the Mahayana lineage, the form of Buddhism prevalent in East Asia. In the Lotus Sutra, the Buddha is transformed into the divine immortal Buddha, who reached complete enlightenment ages ago. His nature as the highest object and faith and devotion is conveyed through parts through miraculous power. The Dharma wheel or Dharma chakra in Sanskrit is one of Buddhism's oldest symbols. It is used to represent Buddhism over the world in the same manner that a cross represents Christianity, or a Star of David represents Judaism. It is also one of Buddhism's 8 auspicious symbols. Similar symbols can be seen in Hinduism, and the Dharma chakra sign in Buddhism most likely derived from Hinduism. A chariot wheel with various numbers and spokes is a traditional Dharma wheel. It can be any color, but gold is the most common. A yin-yang symbol, a second wheel, or an empty circle may be spinning in the center. What the Dharma wheel stands for is the hub, brim, and spokes. These are the 3 basic components of a Dharma wheel. Varied teachers and traditions have given various meanings for these sections over the centuries. Here are some popular interpretations of the wheel's symbolism. The circular shape of the wheel represents the Dharma, or the Buddha's teaching. The wheel's rim reflects the contemplative attention and mindfulness that hold practice together. Moral discipline is represented by the hub. The 3 swirls on the hub are thought to represent the 3 treasures or 3 jewels, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. They could also symbolize happiness.
And now, let's proceed to the next part, ang rituals. A ritual's religious or solemn ceremony consisting of a series of actions perform according to a prescribed order, stated the three religions. Miss Claire Ramilo, the stage is yours.
Puja. Puja, sometimes spelled puja or puja, is a type of ceremonial devotion in Hinduism that can range from the modest daily ceremonies in the house to extensive temples procedure. Puja is originated from the Dravidian word fu, flower. Puja is typically performed by making an offering of flowers or fruit to an image of a god. Puja. Ang pagsamba ng Hindu sa mga Diyos at Diyosa ay tinatawag na puja. Karaniwang ginagawa ng puja araw-araw at ito ay maaring maganap sa bahay o templo ng Hindu na tinatawag na mandir. Ang isang tahanan ng Hindu ay karaniwang merong dambana. Ang dambana ay isang altar o simbahan. Maaari silang magdasal sa isang espesyal na lugar sa isang tahanan ng Hindu. Chant. The Theravada's death ritual are rather complex and include protective chanting, feeding crows and ancestor, inviting gods to be present, transferring, murti, riding a place of ghosts, gambling, and dancing. Ang ritual ng kamatayan ng Theravada ay medyo masalimuot at kinibibilangan ng proteksyon ng pag-awit para maiwasan ang isang masamang kamatayan. Ang mga ritual ng kamatayan ang tanging ritual ng siklo ng buhay kung saan actively involved ang mga monghe ng Theravada Buddhism and provide an excellent context in which to observe the monk-laity relationship. Chant. Chanting entails repeating particular phrases over and over. These are referred to as mantras. Mahayana Buddhists sometimes chant mantras while wearing prayer bread known as malas. The malas assist people in counting the number of times they have said the saying, while the chants provide meaning and purpose in one's life and are frequently communal. Ang kasabihang ito ay kilala bilang mantras. Ang mga chant ay nagpapakilala ng kahulugan at layunin sa buhay ng isang tao, at kadalasan ay communal. Ang pag-awit ay nag-aayos sa isip na pumasok sa pagmumuni o to feel part of a large grouping temple. Kumbaga, tinutulungan sila ng mga malas na mabilang kung ilang beses nilang inulit ang kasabihan.
Thank you for the information, Miss Claire. And now, we all know naman na hindi mawawala ang followers ng mga religions. In short, one in the service of another. Dito yung mga naniniwala ganyan sa religions na yun. This part is leading by Miss Junia Pristo.
Dangal, greetings everyone. So ngayon naman ay i-discuss natin about the followers ng tatlong religion which are Hinduism, Theravada at ang Mahayana. So dun muna tayo sa Hinduism. Hindus are people who religiously adhere to Hinduism. Ang Hinduism ay mayroong approximately 1 billion followers at ito ay isa sa mga pinakamalalaking religion and ito ay ang third largest religion in the world. Yung mga followers nito ay mostly nasa Indian subcontinent. Example ay ang India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Bhutan. Next naman is ang Theravada. Most Theravada monks live as a part of monastic communities. Some join as young as 7, but one can join at any age. A novice is called a samanera, and the full monk is called a bhikkhu. The monastic community as a whole is called the sangha. Ang novice ay ang novice ang tawag sa kanila ay samanera at ang ibig sabihin naman ng novice ay parang beginners. While ang full monk naman ay ang bhikkhu. So sa Buddhism, meron siyang tatlong parang branches, pero yung isa hindi na siya sinama dito. So ang i-discuss muna natin ay ang Mahayana saka ang Theravada. Next naman is ang Mahayana. Mahayana Buddhists are found in China, South Korea, Japan, and Tibet. The Mahayana sect of Buddhism believed in Buddha's heavenly appearance and idol worship. So kanina na natin ang Theravada, pero Yung dalawang branches na yon, ang pinaka-largest sa kanila sa Buddhism ay ang Mahayana. And ang several countries na may pinakamalaking followers ng Mahayana ay tulad ng China, Japan, South Korea, and Vietnam. While sa Theravada naman, ito yung second largest branch ng Buddhism, and yung mga countries na involved dito at yung may pinakamaraming followers nito ay ang Thailand, Burma or Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Laos, and Cambodia.
Thank you for that wonderful information. Grabe, no? And for the next one, we have the belief. Dito natin malalaman yung kanilang paniniwala, their beliefs, ganyan. Let's call on Mr. Mark Lawrence Takasa for this presentation.
Dangal greetings, my name is Mark Lawrence Takasa. Ako naman po yung magpapaliwanag sa belief or paniniwala ng Hinduism, Theravada Buddhism, and Mahayana Buddhism. Hinduism. Hindus believe in the doctrines of samsara, the continuous cycle of life, death, and reincarnation, and karma, the universal law of cause and effect. One of the key thoughts of Hinduism is Atman, or the belief in soul. This philosophy holds that living creatures have a soul, and they're all part of the Supreme Soul. Kung naririnig nyo yung word na samsara, naniniwala ang India or ang Hinduism na kapag namamatay mga kaluluwa is pwede ulit itong mabuhay pero sa panibagong form naman or sa panibagong katauhan ayon sa moral law ng karma. And yung mga ginagawa mo ngayon is makaka-apekto siya sa magiging bagong buhay mo in the future. And pwede ka ring maalis sa cycle ng pagkamatay at pagkabuhay muli. Theravada Buddhism. The two fundamental concepts of Theravada Buddhism are Nirvana and Arhat. Nirvana is the perfect place that is free from all suffering. The ultimate goal of Theravada Buddhism is to attain Nirvana at the end of the cycle there lives. This is also the immediate goal of Theravada Buddhist monks, who are the only individuals in Theravada Buddhism who can achieve the state directly after this life. Individuals who dwell in Nirvana are called Arhat, which means perfect being or perfectly enlightened being. Ang dalawang pangunahing konsepto ng Theravada Buddhism ay ang Nirvana at Arhat. Naniniwala sila na ang Nirvana ay perpektong lugar na malaya sa lahat ng pagdurusa. Naniniwala sila sa Nirvana na kapag na-achieve mo na yon, you have the choice. If you would like to be reincarnated para matulungan pa yung ibang tao to become enlightened. Ang mga individual na naninirahan naman sa Nirvana ay tinatawag na Arhat, na nanganguhulugang perpektong nilalang o perpektong nilalang na naliwanagan. Mahayana Buddhism. The Mahayana Buddhism provide us with good perspective on life ultimate challenges. The Mahayana or Great Vessel provides redemption to all beings via faith, love, and wisdom, whereas the Hinayana seeks only those few strong souls who do not require external aid or the consolation of worship. The Mahayana tradition places a greater focus on knowledge or wisdom, the mastery of which creates awakening. Ang Buddhismo ng Mahayana ay nagbibigay sa atin ng magagandang pananaw sa mga huling hamon ng buhay. Ang Mahayana o Great Vessel ay nagbibigay ng pagtubo sa lahat ng nilalang sa pamamagitan ng pananampalataya, pag-ibig at karunungan. Samantalang ang Hinayana ay naghahanap lamang ng iilang malalakas na kaluluwa na hindi nangangailangan ng tulong sa labas o ng aliw ng pagsamba.
Thank you so much. Hopefully sa mga viewers ay may napulot silang aral. Anyway, go naman tayo dito sa kanilang sacred text. Ito yung kanilang scriptures with various religions. Can you please explain the sacred text of these three religions again, Miss Poyawan?
Greetings everyone. This is the three religion sacred text. The first one is the Hinduism sacred text. The Vedas are India's earliest surviving text, dating from approximately 2000 to 1500 BCE. These texts are made up to hymns and ritual treatises that are instructional nature in along with other sections that are more speculative and metaphysical. Ang mga sacred text ng religion. Ang una ay ang Hinduismo. Ang Hinduismo ay ang tinatawag nilang ang mga Vedas o ang aklat ng kaalaman. Ang mga kaalaman ng pangunahing sagradang teksto sa Hinduismo ay itinatawag itong ang sagradang teksto kung saan nakabatay ang Hinduismo o ang Vedas ay pag nahahati pa sa 4 na seksyon. Meron itong Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda at Atharvaveds. O karamihan sa mga sagradong teksto ng Hindu ay walang tsak na mga timeline o kakilalang may akda. Ang malaking mayorya ng mga taong nagsasagawa ng Hinduismo ay nagpapasakop sa isang pinakamataas sa tinatawag nilang Shiva or Vishnu. The second sacred text is the Theravada sacred text. The Tipitaka is the most sacred and authoritative collection of texts in Theravada Buddhism. The Theravada version of the Tipitaka is considered to be closed, meaning it is not open to additions. Ito naman ang ikalawang sacred text na religion, ang Theravada. Ang sagradong teksto sa Theravada Buddhism ay mahigpit na binubuo ng Tripitaka o Pali Canon. Ang Pali Canon na kanilang tinatawag ay ang karaniwang koleksyon ng mga banal na kasulatan sa tradisyon ng Theravada Buddhist na napanatili sa wikang Pali. Ito ang pinakakompletong umiiral na maagang Buddhist canon o pangunahing itong nagmula sa paaralan ng Tamarashatiya. This is the last sacred text, the Mahayana sacred text. Japanese Lotus Sutra, or 8th chapter of the Lotus Sutra, is one of the most influential scriptures of Mahayana. Mahayana Buddhism, it is seen by many of its adherents as the summations of the teaching of the Buddha. Ng religion ay ang Mahayana. Ang pinakasagradong ng teksto sa mga Mahayana Buddhists ay ang Lotus Sutra. Binabalik ng Mahayana Buddhism ang Tripitaka bilang isang sagradong teksto. Ngunit idinagdag ito sa mga sutra na nagpapakita ng mga nagtatanging konsepto ng Mahayana. Karamihan sa mga Mahayana sutra na may bilang higit sa 2,000 ay isinulat sa pagitan ng 200 BCE at 200 CE ang pangunahing panahon kung saan nabuo ang Mahayana Buddhism.
Fun fact we are waiting for. This fun fact contains the Hinduism and Buddhism itself. Again, Ms. Cristo.
So, ngayon naman ay mag-move on tayo sa fun fact. Number 1. Hinduism, true name is not Hinduism. Its true name is Sanatana Dharma or Vedic Dharma. Ang name na Hinduism ay binigay lamang siya ng Greek saka Arab doon sa mga taong naninirahan sa malapit sa Hindu River. Tapos, number 2, prayer beads consist of 108 beads. Karamihan sa mga prayer beads ay merong 108 beads. Habang ang number 3 naman, ang AUM or Om meaning, yung A, it means creation of universe. While yung U, maintaining the energy of universe. While yung M naman, which is transformative energy of the universe and the thoughts and belief. Number 4. Buddhism have multiple sacred scriptures. Ang Buddhism ay wala siyang specific na sacred scripture. And number 5. Yung symbol ng Nazi saka yung Buddhism ay magkaparehas. Hindi magkaparehas pero parang halos may similarities sila. And while ang Buddhism naman ay naniniwala sa karma, nagpo-promote naman sila ng peace unlike Nazi.
Thank you about that, Miss Cristo. Teka, parang may kulang pa eh. Ayun ang comparative of Hinduism and Buddhism. So we conclude this difference and similarities of these two religions. Since ang Mahayana and Theravada ay same lang naman sila na Buddhism. Sa next presentation, malalaman pa natin lalo ang pagkakaiba ng Hinduism at Buddhism at yung similarities nila. Ang lugar, ang founder, paniniwala at marami pang iba. So, dyan lang kayo.
Pareho silang nagmula sa India.
The Hinduism came from the Indus Valley.
Ang Buddhism ay nanggaling naman sa Northern India.
But know who its founder is.
Ang kinikilalang founder ng Buddhism ay si Buddha or si Siddhartha Gautama. Galing siya sa mayamang pamilya na kung saan nakadiskubre ng iba't ibang suffering dito sa mundo.
Parehas din silang naniniwala sa karma. Merong good and bad karma. Dito, ang accumulation na ginawa natin sa lupa ay siyang babalik sa iyo. Kung mabuting tao ka, ang babalik sa iyo ay good karma. Kung masama ka, ang babalik sa iyo ay bad karma. Itinuro na Buddha na ang good karma ay mahalaga dahil ito ay nangangahulugan na ang mga tao ay may power to determine their own destiny through their action. Naniniwala rin sila sa cycle of rebirth o yung pag namatay ka, mabubuhay ka ulit. For example, nanganak ka. Halimbawa, in some reason, ikaw ay mamamatay. After mong mamatay, mabubuhay ka ulit. Kumbaga, depende sa ginawa mo dito sa lupa.
Was on earth, depending on their gender, caste system, or caste status. This is one of the concepts of Dharma that they need to accomplish individually for the benefit of the whole.
Sa Buddhism, naniniwala sila sa Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Paths na kung saan ito ay mga turo ni Buddha na kailangan nilang sundin para malagpasan nila yung iba't ibang suffering or mga challenges nila sa buhay.
That fourfold purpose, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Dharma is a fulfillment of Judaism in society. What is your age? And the Artha is he who is born in rebirth or when you are alive again. That we have an eternal soul or what we call Atman that can change from one creature to another. When we die, are reincarnate as a spirit. According to the Hinduism, you can live again or be reincarnated 1,000,000 times depending on your karma.
Sa Buddhism, hindi sila naniniwala sa rebirth of soul or reincarnated or hindi sila naniniwala sa Atman. Although naniniwala sila sa karma, pero hindi sila naniniwala sa Diyos na may control over your destiny.
India, specifically in Hinduism, they have women's inferiority. It is said that the role woman is to do the household chores. But of course, they are also thought that they should be taken care of by their children, husbands, and their parents who are thought in laws of Manu. In Hinduism, also there are cases where
Ang mga kababaihan naman sa Buddhism ay medyo may freedom, sapagkat ang isa sa mga belief ng Buddhism ay peace. Pwede sila makapag-participate sa mga rituals, mga practices, and although sa mga trades and business dealing.
So, ano na, di ba mas lalong lumawak ang inyong isipan tungkol sa Hinduism and Buddhism at ang kanilang pagkakatulad. And now, proceed tayo sa conclusion. The conclusion is the summarize of these three religions. It contains the difference and similarities nila. Yung Hinduism and Buddhism, andito rin yung Mahayana and Theravada Buddhism. Their similarities and differences. So, let's proceed to this presentation. Thank you.
Hinduism and Buddhism are two different religions. Hinduism believe in multiple gods, which is manifestation of the one, while you could say Buddhism is atheistic in nature or at least agnostic in general. Hinduism is more of religious rituals, while Buddhism is more on ethical behaviors and analysis of living conditions. I guess this is the reason for Buddhism being the only foreign religion that is accepted by the Han Chinese. It is similar to Confucianism and Taoism. Hinduism ay isang polytheistic religion na kung saan madami or multiple gods, which is manifestation. Samantalang ang Buddhism naman, ito yung atheist sa nature or at least agnostic, tapos ang founder nila ay isa lang, which is si Buddha. Si Hinduism, siya yung religion na more religious rituals And yung Buddhism naman, more on ethical behavior sa mga living condition.
Theravada and Mahayana are both Buddhist sect or branches of the same religion. In Mahayana, they follow a rigorous vegetarian diet in which they do not eat meat, drink or use alcohol in their meals, and do not consume pungent vegetables such as Chinese scallions and onions. Meanwhile, in Theravada, they are only permitted to ingest meat if it has been offered to them by others. Only ardent Buddhists, usually monks, would strictly adhere to the rules.
In conclusion, Mahayana generally tried to live like Buddha, being kind and compassionate for others to the level of self-sacrifice if they could, which they believe would eventually lead to enlightenment, just as Buddha have achieved, while Theravada tried to achieve enlightenment in order to free themselves from the cycle of rebirth, which also means free from sufferings. And Mahayana seems to give precedence to the quality of compassion, while the Theravada gives precedence to wisdom is compassion practiced as a supportive quality of the mind for the cultivation of wisdom. Sa madaling salita, ang Mahayana ay inuuna ang kalidad o quality ng compassion. Samantala, ang Theravada naman ay inuuna o nangunguna sa karangalan. It appears that Vipassana meditation that leads to enlightenment is mainly practiced in the Theravada Buddhism. Comparatively, Mahayana school seems to give more precedence of chanting, rites, and ritual. So, ang Theravada po ay, ang precedence niya ay nagfo-focus po siya sa karangalan ng bawat isa. Samantalang ang school naman po ng Mahayana, ito po yung nagfo-focus siya sa chanting, sa mga awit, sa mga rites and rituals po. And then, this is what I learned from Buddha and Buddhism. Give even you have little, so no matter how things small and big. Is it unless you give, kahit ano pa man yan. The next one yung natutunan ko naman is no one can help you. Even Buddha said he couldn't help us. So just be kind. Kindness will repay you someday. Next, hell or heaven depends on you. Kapag gumawa ka ng mabuti, you did good. Ganun din naman sa masama. Kapag gumawa ka ng masama, you deserve bad. Last, Buddha said that no one will love us than ourselves. Self-love is important. So bago ka magmahal ng kung ano, unahin mo muna ang sarili mo. Mahalin mo muna ang sarili mo. And that's all for today's presentation. Thank you for listening. Hoping na may aral kayong natutunan. Dangal greetings again. We are Group 8. That's all, and thank you and have a nice day to all.